Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show, training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Susie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse, Semi. Training Eve to drive cart. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve to lay down. Training Eve to harness, pull a log. Training Semi to harness, pull a log on turf. Liberty jumping to music with our horses who are our partners. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator. Training on our driveway, which is covered by sand, so we have a straight track. Stepping over poles, jumping over crossbar jumps. Training in our trail obstacles course. Sadie doing obstacles without rein control. Training miniature zebu bull Rusty to pull an implement. Here are clips of preparing Firecrest Easter Eve for solo trail riding and vaulting, gymnastics on horseback.
Eve. We're trying to get her prepared to go solo trail again this early spring. We had her pretty nicely accustomed to the trail at the end of last fall. Then the rain started. We concentrated on other things, but Eve in particular, let me tell you what her strong points are and her weak points. She is very easy to handle from the ground. She is absolutely fearless in the obstacles. But fine-tuning, getting soft, light lateral flexion, vertical flexion, get her to stand still for opening a gate. Those are still challenges for Eve. Alexis is riding Eve today for the first time. And while we thought perhaps we'll take Eve out to the bushes and the trail, we decided not to. She needs a little bit more prep work, as you see Alexis giving her. Alexis is trying to open the 8-foot gate into the arena. And Alexis has already ridden Eve around the property on the sand tracks. I have a lot of driveway on this property, so I've covered all the driveway that I can access with my horses with sand so that we feel comfortable coming out here fenceless, working on straight paths, open spaces. So we did a lot of that already with Eve today. And now a request to open a gate. Stand so that the rider can open the gate. She'll stand until she feels the rider lean over to open the latch. So, if that's all we do today, that's all we'll do. We're not in a rush, but we need to get the right answer, ever so slight the right answer, give her praise for giving us the right answer, and then next time, we're pretty sure we'll get the right answer faster. I'm going to go and move that cone and turn the camera back on. Eve around again on our sanded driveway track. Now she's back at the gate. You can see the stress that Eve is giving Alexis, showing Alexis, simply standing at the gate. As soon as Alexis tries to lean over, there's stress on Eve's part. We're not quite sure what's in her mind, but we know in small steps we'll be able to convince her that standing still so that the rider can lean over and operate a gate latch is not an object at which to spook or stress. You can see how Eve tends to react when she's upset. Her head comes up. And while you might be able to get lateral flexion when her head is up, it's much stiffer than if her neck is down, and we ask for lateral flexion then. If we don't show you this whole session, we'll at least tell you how long it took, because it's going to take repetition. It may happen in the next moment, it may not. But we'll be doing the same thing over and over and over again until we get the right answer from Firecrest, Easter Eve. Almost. Almost. There's that hardness, there's that stress, there's that stiffness. With patience, we're going to get her confidence. There's a bunch of challenges in the arena to ask her to accomplish. But we'll do that another day. Today's challenge is getting her into the arena without stress, getting her in there softly, lightly. With the rider opening the gate. The latch is actually at the top of the gate, and then you can see a loop at the top rail of the gate that can be handled by a rider. So we're not asking for a deep bend from the rider, just a slight bend. And yet Eve, as you can see, is showing stress, just with a slight bend from the rider. So I'm going to turn off the camera and turn it on in the instant that it appears that Eve is no longer showing the stress, and we'll allow Alexis to open the gate. Well, it was only a moment or two before I had to turn the camera back on, because I could see that Eve was allowing Alexis to lean down to slide the latch open. Now will she allow Alexis to walk around the gate and close it. Eventually, we want her to allow Alexis or any rider to do that without the hand of the rider having to leave the gate. We break down our large objectives into small prerequisite skills and into small accomplishable steps, then with repetition, with reward. Yes, we generally speaking are able to achieve eventually our larger objectives. Now Alexis is getting off to let Eve know that she gave the right answer and her work is done. Hi, I'm Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl, and this is our session today to tack fit Eve for vaulting. Eve is a very good vault horse. She's very non-spooky to have really weird things happening on her and around her. So vaulting, which is gymnastics on horseback, can be very spooky to a spooky horse. Well, for Eve, we've done this in the past, but it's been a long time, and Alexis, who is working with Eve, wants to learn how to vault. And I used to vault when I was younger. My kids used to vault when they were young, very young. They were on a team. It was a lot of fun. It was very challenging, but it required a special kind of horse. And I see that in Eve. So we're going to continue to work with her on being a vault horse. This is part of my ranch versatility program. Now you see how easy she is to bridle. You see how unstressed she looks right now. And you know me, that I usually do a very special session on just tacking. So that's what we're showing you today. How we tack Eve for vaulting, which is gymnastics on horseback. Now I've got her rope halter on in case we have any problems, and we are going to do a little bit of lunging, but let me turn her around and show you my vaulting surcingle. Good. It has handles to hold on to. It cinches tight to the chest, as does the saddle. We use a pad under it unless it starts to slip. It's got Cossack straps, so we can do special things like stand in them and do an arabesque. We can use these handles to turn around and ride backwards on Eve's neck. We can use these handles to help us get up on her back and ride her with our knees on her back. We can use these handles to get ourselves up and standing on her back. And we can also ride backwards on her back, all with the help of these vaulting surcingle handles. So you have a lot to look forward to. Keep an eye on the shows with Eve this spring and summer, because we're going to continue to make her a vault horse. My cameraman's going to zero in on Eve's demeanor right now, her eyeballs. You see, this is usually what Eve is, unless there's something she's really spooked about, like lizards and bushes, things like that. She has a long ways to go to learn how to be a good trail horse. But I do believe I'm going to be able to show you a tacking process today which is spookless, stress-free, and a little bit of lunging, and a little bit of sitting bareback on her back with the vaulting surcingle on. You'll hold this, Alexis? Now, one thing I like to do at first, eventually we probably won't need these, but they're elastic straps, and they are used a lot with vaulting horses. I'm going to use them today. You see, the vaulting surcingle has a lot of loops on them, metal loops that you can attach things to. So I am going to use these elastic straps, probably tighten a little bit, just to give Eve the reminder that she's not to throw up her head. These can be gotten at any tack shop. They're inexpensive. They're nylon with elastic on them, as you can see. Yeah. I think, let's see if this is enough tension. Let's just leave it the way it's adjusted, because I do believe we last adjusted it for her, although I can't remember for sure. We'll see. Okay, another option, you can see she has her O-ring snaffle on. Another option is a side pull, because pretty much vaulting is movement in a circle. So a side pull should be adequate. So I brought it in case we want to use it. Now the first thing I'm going to do is put this 12-foot yacht rope lead line on Eve. We're going to take the 10-foot cotton lead line off that we usually use to lead her around. I'm going to take her very close here to the camera. I'm going to ask her to, using my arm extension, to do a little bit of stress-free walk and jog. Let's see how she does. See, she's got different tack on than she's had in months. So how does she feel about it? I'll show you. Back. Back. Good girl, Eve. Wait. Point. You see Alexis how the little elastics are reminding her to keep her head in? Ooh, ooh. Back, 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 back. Good. Ooh. She's licking her lips. Good sign. Tapped a little bit at the shoulder because I didn't want her to come in quite so close. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, walk and jog in both directions. She was fine. I'm going to ask Alexis to hold Eve, and I'm going to show Alexis the first compulsory exercise of vaulting. I'm using a table to help me get up on Eve's back. Now, I fully expect Eve to be fine on this, but just in case she's not, I'm going to ask Alexis to make sure she pulls Eve's head toward yourself and toward me, so that there's no chance that Eve can kick up. I'm going to throw myself over her back. Good girl, Eve. Everything's done on both sides and both directions. Now, once I do get up there, you'll want to move this table out of the way. Looks easy, but if you don't have the right horse under you, it can be difficult. Now, what's the riding seat? The riding seat is asking a horse at a lunge, both walk, jog, and canter, to keep an even pace, and to allow the rider to point their toes and bring their arms up. As you can see, straight, with your fingers straight. And you're going to, as the vaulter, be able to do a few times around on the lunge line, just like this. That's the riding seat. What's something challenging yet to expect to happen? Well, after the compulsories are done, we're going to use these Cossack straps. You know, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Pull my boot off. There are such things as vaulting slippers, which I don't have at this time, but my boot would not fit in the Cossack strap. What is the Cossack strap? It's almost like, no, only on one side. Yeah, for now. It's like a stirrup, but maybe even tighter, right? So what are we going to do with the Cossack strap? And I'm not sure how Eve is going to behave. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my weight in the left strap, which looks a lot like this one on the right. Ed, if you can zero in on that. It's got a cover over it, but it is stiff leather. I'm going to put my weight on the left foot. She could move at any time. You see her head? I'm going to sit right back down again and try to control her. There we go. That's all I'm going to do today. I've got my right knee straddled across her back. I've got my weight in the left Cossack strap. And that's the beginning of an arabesque. My right knee would go up, much like a ballerina. My left foot would stay in the Cossack strap. Eve right now is standing still, but that very same gymnastic movement on a vaulting horse done properly will be done at a walk, a jog, and a canter. So Alexis is getting an idea what vaulting is all about, and we're going to continue to try to show you the exercises in vaulting, the compulsories, as well as the artistic additions that any vaulter can choose to accomplish on their vaulting horse at a competition. And oftentimes it's done to music, and it's very beautiful. Goodbye for now. Sonia Sokolov, the Urban Cowgirl, presenting to you Firecrest Easter Eve as a vault horse, a ranch versatile. Trying some things on Eve. We're being a little bit courageous here, but carefully. Alexis, as you can see, is riding backwards on Eve's neck. All right, now she's holding on to the handles of the vaulting surcingle. Now scooch back over, Alexis, the handles. We want Eve to feel Alexis all over her. Now, Alexis did a movement which took her halfway around. Continue, that's good. Either that way or the other way, back over. Okay, now bring your right leg up over. There you go. Now, eventually when you do this properly, you're going to do it beautifully. That right leg is going to extend and point.
You mean that wasn't beautiful?
A little bit too much bending
okay.
of your right leg. It's all ballerina gymnastics on horseback is what it is. So if you watch ballerinas and gymnasts, very seldom do they bend their leg.
Right.
It's straight and beautiful. And so all of these movements are done that way.
Do you have some pants that aren't as tight to do that?
Absolutely. You're going to wear your stretchy pants next time. Now, another thing you could try is just using the handles, and if there's any indication of concern from Eve, we'll stop. Can you scooch up onto your knees? Holding onto the handles. There you go. Now you see you've got your feet on Eve's back where she's not used to having feet, right? But because she's a good girl, she's not showing any stress. You can see in her eyeballs, though, she's kind of wondering what that feeling is. And she's eventually going to feel that feeling when she's walking, jogging, and cantering. And you're going to have the balance and the rhythm on her back to stay on there. If at any time you feel like you're falling off, the best thing is to be supple yourself and to do a somersault when you get to the ground, which will help you to stay supple. You know how to do a somersault forward. You might want to practice. Okay? All right. What the name of the game here is in vaulting is beauty, it is limberness, and it is suppleness. And it's quite amazing what you can do on the back of a horse with a good vaulting horse. And we're going to show you this season and this summer how Alexis learns how to vault on Eve. Goodbye for now. Sonia Sokolov, the Urban Cowgirl. Desensitization